Hey everybody, back for another live stream. Um, in today's live stream, I am inviting a fellow TI in the community. His YouTube uh, handle is absent-minded ape, and I told him about this 5 p.m. Live stream, and I hope he will join me on this live stream. And I will post the link. Let's see here, invite. So, you know what? I will hold out on posting this link because actually it doesn't matter because I have to approve who joins in. Okay, so here's the link. Um, Yesterday, my phone died in the middle of my sentence, and by the time I got my phone started up again, Immaterial Man and Raw Data, they already left the stream. So good. It's a good thing that they didn't stick around because I took a while to get back on. Um, I want to continue talking about Immaterial Man and how and what he said yesterday when he was talking about seeing people in the parking lot with the door open and that lady following him inside Walmart and where he turned around and kind of like confronted her and she had an attitude um, about what happened. And situation like, for me, I believe, okay, this is just my opinion, situations like that do happen for whatever reason. People out in public, they could be pissed off or who knows what happened to them on that day. So when Immaterial Man turned around and kind of confronted her a little bit and she came back with an attitude, I mean, that's stuff like that could happen and they do happen. um it's not a good feeling. I would just if that was me, I wouldn't even say anything to her because I have mentioned many times TIs is more likely you walking down aisle looking at another TI, and that lady, I'm pretty sure that lady is also listening to the gangstalkers, the mind control, but she doesn't know it, and who knows what she's thinking. She might be she just might be really trigger happy, like really easily uh get ticked off, and just so happened the Material Man was there at that moment. I don't know, but I would recommend, don't let those type of situation bother you, because situations like that, it happens in life, and it doesn't bring any joy or happiness. It just brings the spirit down. And I also want to talk about, well, I hope absent-minded Abe is here. um, Please join me on this live stream if you are here. I would love to talk to you um, and hear about your experience and what you're going through and your thoughts on me and what do you not like about uh what I'm doing, or what do you like, just it's all good. It's all, just friendly discussion. I was watching his live stream last night, and I guess that I guess he was a little bit irritated by my live stream, the one that I had with Immaterial Man and Raw Data. I just want to openly apologize to him because he made uh, two comments. One of them was praising you know uh, us doing a good job, um, but I didn't highlight that comment, and I guess from his perspective, it does seem like I was ignoring him because no one else was talking, just him, and I was highlighting other comments before his. So it would seem like I'm just ignoring him from his perspective, and I just want to apologize for that. I already explained to him my reason why I didn't click on it, and so he knows, and I just want to openly apologize to him that I wasn't trying to ignore him. Um, so I hope no harm, no foul, and that's why I'm doing this live stream to. I want to invite him in and just have a casual talk, just casual discussion on gangstalking. Um, I was reading some of the comments in his live stream, and one person handle is targeted individual, I believe. He or she was saying, or was posting that um, their comment, his or her comment, was blocked from my live stream, and I just want to openly and come out and say, if targeted individual is listening to me right now or listening to this live stream later, I do believe I did block you from my from the chat because I remember correctly. I think it was video number 35 when my video was playing. I believe maybe at the time you were just upset at something. I don't know, but I think you made some remarks. That I know you're not that type of person, but those remarks came out. It was just kind of really bad. Um, I think it was something also about driving, being an Asian driver or something like that. So that's why I blocked uh, the that's why I blocked you, targeted individual. Um, well, the user ID targeted individual. So I will. I do want to hear what you have to say, and I will. When I have time, I will log onto the computer and unblock you so you can participate in the chat because I did it at when video 35 was live and I'd forgotten about it. So it's a good thing I saw your comment, and I do want you to participate because I'm not trying to shy away from anything. I'm open about any discussion when it comes to gang stalking. And one of the comment that targeted individuals made was about drones and how because I since he's blocked, I can't read his comment, and I guess he commented about asking about drones in the sky. Um, so my story is about 7 or 8 years ago because I drive a truck. Okay, I live on a farm. I do farm related agriculture business. And I drive a truck, and 7 or 8 years ago, I was driving long distance to pick up produce and stuff. And on my way back, okay, right around 5 or 6, you know, during that when the sun is setting but not completely set, so the sky was still got that pretty color, pretty, really pretty color, right before the sun completely set. I would notice there's a dot, a star in the sky, and as I'm driving, I'm driving about 200 miles one way, so I'm going straight. And I'm just looking at this star in the sky, and I noticed it wasn't moving. At first I thought it was a plane because there was still light out. The sky was still blue. So there was no other stars. This is the brightest thing in the sky. It's just one dot. It looks like an airplane's headlights. But as I'm driving, and I notice it's not moving. And in my mind, that's what I'm start thinking. Oh, it's got to be some type of alien or something, right? And this went on for months and months and years. To a point where I realized, okay, it's not a plane. It's like a planet or something, right? Some type of planet X. And I download this Google Star Maps, okay, where you point your phone to the sky and you can kind of see which planets are and what stars are, where they're located using your phone. Um, and it's pointed to Venus, okay? So in the direction of Venus, like that star is Venus. But I have my doubts because that star is new. Like I never noticed that star prior to that one day driving home from picking up produce. So and it's still light outside and it's so bright. And it's the brightest thing next to, you know, the sun, or if the moon comes out early, it's just as bright as the moon. So it's really bright. And I even try to use my binoculars, my telescope, and I would look at it. It seems so far away. It's I can't explain it. But when I use the Google Sky Map, it's pointing at Venus. Do I believe it's Venus? No, I don't believe it's Venus. But am I positive it's not Venus? I don't know. Um, that's when all the hype about Planet X and all that. Uh, what's that one word? Naribu or Naribu? Is that what's called? Planet X. Um, so I would just imagine it's Planet X, but that is the closest experience I have when it comes to drones. Uh, one one time I was driving south, and it was around 12 a.m. at night, and there's a stretch of freeway, and there's cars maybe a mile ahead of me and cars a mile behind me. So I was just by myself, and all of a sudden, three lights appear above the mountains to my right, uh, to the west side, to the west. Three lights, just one, two, three, okay, in a line, just showed up one, two, three, and it was just chilling there for about maybe a few seconds, and then light number one and light number three moved down to create, now it's in a shape of a triangle, like a three, like a triangle shape with three lights. And it was just chilling there for another few seconds. And next thing, it started flying. All right, it was moving, and my heart was pounding. I was like, "Whoa, that's UFO!" Like instantly in that few sec, in that second, less than a second, my mind would just go, "Oh my God, it's UFO! I have to film it. I have to film it." And this light was flying towards me. And the craziest thing was, it flew over me, but at a 45-degree angle. So I was looking out, you know, of the front windshield at a 45 degrees angle, and my car's headlight was bright enough to get a glimpse of this object, on the bottom of this object, and what it looks like. Looks like a plane, but it's a drone plane. It's one of those military drone planes, and it just flew by, and it just headed towards east. So ever since that moment, I was like, "Oh wow!" So those stars, those three dots in the sky, now I know they're drones. So that's the most close encounter I have with seeing an actual drone like that. Because prior to that, I only see it on TV, on History Channel, military stuff, shows. Um, but with other than that, I have no fear of these drones. Like I never went through a phase where I was worried about these drones. Um, so I don't know what it's like for other TIs out there who's going through this experience with drones, and where they are worried about the drones. And my advice to that is just, who cares? Yeah, you see a drone in the sky, or you believe it's a drone, but you don't know if it is a drone. But let's just say it is a drone. I mean, that drone. Why do you believe that drone's looking at you and not somebody else that's 5 miles away? Because that drone, I would imagine, it's got a bird's eye view on a large area. So what's making you focus on believing that drone is just there looking at you? And I know a lot of TIs out there would say, well, I just know, I feel it. I know. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. You feel it, you believe it. But one thing you also need to remember, what I always teach, is we are listening to lower voice to skull. So it goes back to how this all started. The reason you put your focus on that bright little dot in the sky is because you were told to look that direction. And that's no big deal, right? Being told, to look that direction by lower voice to skull. But it is a big deal when the lower voice to skull will start feeding you negative thoughts. And what these negative thoughts are telling you, that's a drone. That drone is spying on you. See, these are negative information, and they're feeding it to you. And now, once they feed it to you, you can't prevent yourself from not receiving it, because it's it's within their ability to induce these thoughts into your mind. There's so far, I mean, maybe there's a way to block them uh, from even attempting to send these images and thoughts to you. But I don't know the answer to that one, because that requires more research and resources to experiment and research and develop. But for me, I know there's no way to blocking them sending me images and thoughts. But once they send the thought, it's up to me to decide if I want to continue thinking that way. So they send they tell you, using lower voice to skull, to look in the direction of the drone. So you're looking at it, and they start telling you to find it curious. And what is it? It's not moving or whatever. It's why it's in the sky. It's just sitting there. Naturally, we're gonna try to answer and find out what's going on, and use scientific uh, uh, common sense, to make sense of what it is. And drone is a perfectly good uh, example. But then they tell you, uh, the lower voice of skull will tell you it's a drone spying on you. Now that's where it crossed the line. That's where you got to draw the line. So once you receive that feeling that, oh, it's a drone, it's here spying on me, you're gonna need to start practicing to stop that train of thought. Let it go. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't grab a 50 caliber rifle and aim at it and try to shoot down. You can't. You go to prison for life, right? I mean, logically, in a society, there's nothing you can do about it other than to just ignore it, because it's in the sky. It's beyond you. So what if it is a drone? Big freaking deal. Like, sometimes I walk naked in my place. With my wife and my kids and I here, I don't care. Sometimes I'll just walk naked, because I'll play like my demon whistle, and I don't want them cutting on inside my clothes, So I gotta do my thing, my ritual to like get rid of some demons. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it is what it is. And I don't even care if they have X-ray scanner to look through the walls. Let them look. What can you do about it? The only thing you can do is to control your mind and prevent your mind from thinking about it, and don't let it bother you. And that goes back to the the core principle: no fear mentality. Does that make any sense? See, a lot of these fears, a lot of these problems are started by the lower voice of skull, but then the TI self-sabotage him or herself by continued thinking about it. And if they keep thinking about it, imagine after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, 2 year, 3 year, that's 3 years of thinking negatively whenever this subject, this topic, this uh this uh idea pops into your mind, you just start going negative thinking about it. And you've been doing it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That is self-sabotaging your own mind and your own spirit. You're training yourself into becoming this person that's losing your soul. Yes, over time you will lose your soul. But then there are some TIs out there who are super strong. No matter how a gangstalker or a group of gangstalkers will keep beating down on him or her, his or her spirit, this TI can always bounce back. And but are you going to have the opportunity to bounce back? And when the opportunity is there, will you catch it and keep it and move forward in a new direction with this opportunity? Because opportunity comes and goes. I mean, some of you out there who's listening to this, if you don't believe me and you want to head towards a different direction, that's fine. I'm not going to try to keep you back. I'm going to try to pull you in because I speak what I know, and I already know I'm the best. I already know I'm the best TI, and I'm here to help all of you. I have no problem saying that because I have information none of you have. And I'm so confident about it. My last video, all of you is going to be really shocked by it. But all of you have seen your gangstalkers. But the information is not put together like the way I will put it together. And you want scientific? Fine. I got that covered. You want published work? I got that covered. You want historical information? I got that covered. You want my direct experience living here on this property? I got that covered. I've had a lot of information put together in a folder on Google Drive. And I've been doing this for a few years now. So I will incorporate all those information into one last video and it will make sense. All those questions you guys have, you don't know how they're doing it. You don't know how they're talking in the walls, or you don't know how they make it so efficient and hire these people. You don't know how they pay them. I mean, you don't know how all this is operated. I mean, naming off all the government agency, right? Every single government agency you can think of, naming them off. Which one is it? Well, it's none of them, because the gangstalkers controls this world. The gangstalkers are bigger than the government, and every powerful person on this planet have gangstalkers on them. But do they know that they have gangstalker on them? Most likely not, because the lower voice of skull is manipulating their daily living routine, their daily habits, their decision making. So they're practically being controlled. But as humans, we have our own will, and our own will can always go against these gangstalkers with a little bit of twist, something that's extraordinary, which is uncontrollable, which is some events happening beyond our control. So beyond our control, meaning with my gangstalker, okay, sometimes they'll give me ideas on what to do, and I don't want to pick a side, because if I pick this idea, then that means I'm going with this group of gangstalkers. If I pick this idea, I'm going with that group. Usually it's good or evil, but then my story is, as a TI, I'm gonna fuck both sides. The good side is gonna get fucked for being too cowards, and the bad side needs to get fucked because they're bad. And I'm just right in the middle. like the yin and the yang. But so what I do is I try to be fair. I just grab a coin, I'll flip a coin. Because flipping a coin to me, it's out of my control. And I'll just go with what a coin lands. But if I pick a side without flipping the coin, then how do I know, is it really my own will? And a lot of it, it's not, because the lower voices skull can talk so low. It's literally guiding our decision making. Yes. If right now you're listening to what I'm saying, you're not understanding this, it's all good. It's fine. But if you're having doubts about what I'm saying, and you try to, and your mind's constantly try to think of some opposition of what I'm saying, that's fine too. That just means your gang stalkers don't want you to know what I know. Your gang stalkers using lower voices skull to try to get you to think only the opposite. And the opposite, is it's limitless, right? We can all just sit there and kind of think of all these scenarios that go against each other. And that's what this community's been doing. I mean, there's no need for TIs to pick at other TIs and try to call them a fake, because that doesn't help nothing. If you don't like that TI's content, you don't believe it, you got something better, then by all means, you need to go do it. And your goal is to educate other TIs. At the same time, if you do believe me, then I hope you actually participate more often, so I can engage in conversation with you. And together we can spread the message to other TIs out there. And there will be a percentage of TI from on one side, while there's a percentage of TI on the other side, and then there's some in the middle. That's just natural. That's just the way it is. But the core principle here, I mean, the core uh, objective here is, your overall objective. Is it good or evil? Like, I think it's somewhat of evil, negative thoughts. And I know if your TI been thinking that way, it's not from you, it's from your gang stalkers. You got some evil gang stalkers next to you, and using they've been manipulating your mind to think in a negative, evil direction. That's why you're openly labeling other TIs as fakes. Because when you're calling other TIs as fake, that TI is not going to feel good. In reality, that TI is a true TI. So are you. You're a true TI. That TI is a real TI. But one TI calling the other fake, it's not going to make the other TI feel good. And that's a hurting someone's feeling like that. It's a negative effect. And fuck your gang stalkers. I said it, 7 Hanuman. See, I know you got shitty gang stalkers. If you're a TI out there who's talking trash, calling others perps, if I was in the same room with you, I have no problem clapping on your gang stalkers, because they're right around you. And I will show you images in my next video explaining, so you get a better understanding. Because right now, when I'm talking about this, your mind, if you haven't seen the images, you haven't got the explanation, your mind simply just can't draw an image, right? But as soon as I show you the images, now your mind is elevated, and now you understand what I'm talking about when I've been telling you guys that your gang stalker is next to you, your gang stalker is around you, it's literally next to you right now, it's listening to this. If you're listening to this, they are listening to this. And I'm talking to your gang stalker right now. Fuck all of you gang stalkers. See, when I talk shit to my gangstalkers, I feel good. Um, I use my mind to talk shit, but since I'm in private, sometimes it feels pretty good to talk, just kind of talk like a normal person, talking shit. And whatever I say, I can hear them using voice to skull talking back to me. So it's like a constant like battle. You might think that's just crazy talk, right? I'm not trying to tell you to talk in public. I always preach to you guys, don't ever talk in public. Don't ever try clapping on your gang stalker in public because that would look crazy. Only do in private. I always teach you guys this. And I have I out of all my videos, I have about who knows how many hours, like 15 to 20 hours of footage. And I would have to say majority of my footage are in the positive. I try to help you guys, try to cheer you guys up, try to uh, enlighten you guys, or head towards a more calm and peaceful uh, mindset. I would say majority of my video footage, it's very positive driven. But for those of you that think of me in a negative way, I know it's not your fault. It's your gang stalker using lower voice to skull to manipulate you to focus only on the negative aspect of my videos. Because I would imagine my negative aspect is so tiny of a percentage, but yet your gang stalkers, it's using lower voice to skull to manipulate you to focus on that small little percentage of information, which is negative, and that it's their ticket into making your mind start generating these new negative ideas, new negative thoughts about me. And I'm not trying to, get you guys to like me. I know that's not even possible. I'm just explaining it like the way it is. Like I don't care if you like me or not. I already know my purpose that I'm helping a lot of people out there, and it makes me feel good when I read comments from TIs, you know, uh openly letting me know that I'm helping them, and that just makes me feel good. And if you don't like me, that's fine. If you want to debate or talk about gang stalking, I'm all up for it. I love a debate because I already know in the conversation, a lot of it's driven by the gang stalkers. And based on my experience, when I'm upset or angry, they really have control of my next move. Like there was moments in the past where when I'm upset arguing, I would actually say things that I never said before, like calling someone names, really multiple bad words put together in a sentence really loud and saying that to the person that I'm arguing with, something I don't do. But at the moment, when the heated moment, these lower voices skull, I picked up, they can come into my mind. I've gotten to a point where now I can hear and recognize these words come into my mind. And now I'm able to prevent myself from saying it. Does that make any sense? And all this takes practice. And I just hope you guys can be nicer to each other. Um, we're all going through this, and there's some of you are get, you're have a worse situation, and the reason for that is like I mentioned before in my videos, your location where you're living, how many neighbors you got, how many people are around you. All those factors are important in how heavy you're targeting uh, or you're experiencing on a daily basis. So if you live somewhere with a lot of neighbors in a big apartment complex. The gangstalkers, they have a lot of options to mess with you because you can walk to your car in a parking lot and there's people outside. Gangstalkers can come from any direction, kind of talking about you, and you can hear it, even though it's only voice to skull, but it's sounding like it's outside in the physical world, but only you can hear it. I mean, you look over and there's some two people standing there, right? Two dudes standing there. But you need to realize, I come to a realization that those two dudes, if they just showed up, it's because the gang stalkers were the ones to tell them to come outside for whatever reason. They come outside, the reason for them to come outside is not to gang stalk you, right? Whatever their life is, whatever reason they come outside, maybe you smoke a cigarette, just so happen to be there at that time or before you even showed up, or maybe just right at the same time. It's done by these gang stalkers, okay? Because the gang stalkers, there are times when I'm here, they would tell me what type of fruit to get because it's getting late. I don't know what kind of fruit I want because all the restaurants are closed. Like something fast. And I can hear them telling me where to go. And after they tell me, I start getting this sensation, like oh yeah, that sounds really good. I should go there. And all this, it's their tactic of guiding me to do something that they want in a way. And not everything they tell me is bad. But since with this gang stalking thing, I just ignore them. I tend to go against them. But then again, do I really want to go against them every time and turn into a routine? Because I don't want to just go against them every time because of the routine, and they just kind of tell me something that's you know not correct, knowing, or they're going to try to tell me what's correct, knowing I'm going to go against them. So I'm going to end up going with something that's not correct. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to get myself into that routine. So all this takes practice, and it takes a long time. And if you haven't recognized voice to skull, you haven't even started yet. You have not started. And I mean, one thing that really bothers me in the community is a lot of talks about, oh, it's this, it's a Freemason, it's the CIA, it's the whatever count Interpol whatever. It's um all these different programs. Man, the list goes on for so long. Isn't it fascinating how no one knows exactly what program, but yet the TIs know so much about it? I mean, TIs talk to each other like they know so much about it, but yet no one is sure. I mean, if you just read these sentences, everyone just mumbo jumbo. You follow me, I've been on track. Follow me from video 00 all the way up to uh, 37. I've been on point. I know what it is. You disagree, that's fine. You got some better information. I would love to hear it. And one thing about it's like I say before in my video, science, they are doing humanity injustice by not researching paranormal, not researching what's here on Earth, these spiritual realms. Well, maybe the military is researching it, but that's military, classified. But what about the general public? See, we're all kept in the dark. Science can't explain everything. I mean, that's a fact. Science cannot explain everything. You know what's BS? How old this universe is? 14 billion year? Bullshit. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. What type of object do they have to date it back 14 billion years? Do they have a catalog of every single object on this universe or in the universe, so they're able to to test every object and check how old this object is? 14 billion years? That's bullshit. They can't prove that shit. They can't prove it. They'll try to make it sound like they can prove it, but no, it's bullshit. But yet, hey, they'll accept that information in the community. I mean, just look at the moon, right? The moon is just always facing us, right? That's what they're saying. It's like the only moon that doesn't spin. It's always facing us. And how's that possible? Oh, because some perfect gravitational pull, right? Pull and push maybe from other planets and Earth's gravitational pull. So it's just it is perfect standstill. No, there's no such thing as perfect standstill in space. Unless you have some type of advanced technology. Just think about it. All the stuff we shoot into space, those satellites, you know, and when we blow them up, you know, that explosion is like, even though it's not a big explosion out in space, but it's still a force, and that's pushing, right? It's pushing. And Earth, as there's more people on Earth on a daily basis, wouldn't the Earth's like balance, the mass changes every day? And over time, wouldn't that gravitational pull also change because Earth, if the mass is different now? Because I don't believe it if the mass gets heavier, but the gravitational pull is the same. It's like the same magnet can hold a bowling ball and a tennis ball, identical, in the same way. It's not possible. There's no way a moon can just not collide with Earth or be pushed further away. It doesn't just stay there. I mean, it's alien. The moon is alien. If it's not made by alien, it's being manipulated by aliens. And these gangstalkers are aliens. Now, when I mentioned spirits, spirits are also alien, right? We're in our physical body. Let's just say, okay, there is life after death. We die, and there's life after death. And people, have mentioned we're just a ball of energy, right? Or an energy. But what does that look like? To me, that's just alien, a form of an alien. It's alien. Spirits are alien. Ghosts are alien. I mean, they use the word ghost, and what we understand ghost is just more thinking more of a living person, right? But no, it's not a living person. It's actually a dead spirit that doesn't have a physical body. So in form, it's almost like an alien. It's an alien. And like I mentioned before, they're old aliens. And I know in the Buddhist teaching, there's talk of there's spirits in all living things. So if us humans got spirits, animals got spirits. So does dinosaur have spirits? Maybe. So when that dinosaur died, where's that spirit? Is it still lingering around? Then that must be one old spirit. What about a cat? The first cat. That must be one old cat spirit. Is it possible? Well, what I just explained, it kind of does make sense, but then can I prove it? No, I can't prove it. No, I can't prove it at all. But what I can prove, I will show you in video number 40. Visually and published work and historical data and my own personal direct experience, ancient text, depiction, whatever you can name, audio recordings, video clips. I got those. Every time I see something that's in the same category, I will take my time and I will store it. I've been doing that for years. So I don't want to go too off topic now, but what is I'm gonna finish off with this. What is the worst thing for a TI going through this? For me, my experience in the beginning, the worst thing for me was just privacy, right? I lost my privacy. I was doing whatever I want, chilling. The next thing I feel like my neighbors were outside by my window. And then I left the door open. I fell asleep twice with the door open. And because of that incident, the gang stalker was able to manipulate me to start believing in all these scenarios. As in, I fell asleep, my neighbors came in, took my keys, made copies. Now they're copying my key. So I wouldn't buy new locks. I changed my locks. Okay. Or when I fell asleep with the door open, they got my keys and also they installed hidden cameras because I didn't replace the lock right away. It actually took me a while before I replaced the lock. So there was like I don't know how long, maybe a week or two time period since I left the door open. Fell asleep, left the door open. So my mind would start telling me, oh man, during that time when I went to work, they must have came in when I was at work during the day and they installed cameras up on the roof, up on the corner, uh, put a little mic inside the TV because I was able to hear my gang stalker from the TV whenever I'm watching TV. Uh, they would make me believe I'm five. They are 5-0. They are the police, and I really did believe them. But then again, it made me think, based on my situation, like I'm not a bad person. Why are they doing this to me? And my gang stalkers, the way they are, they seem kind of stupid. I'm sorry, but it's like they're kind of stupid, and the way they make sense of logic, it's just way off. It doesn't seem like someone that's behind a monitor. It's more like their whole mentality is like from the Wild Wild West day or earlier. That type of mentality. So it's like doesn't make sense. And after a while, I just start pushing it. I called it bluff. Start pushing it to the point where I don't even care, and I know they're not police. And that only lasted about 3 to 6 months, where I believed that they were actual law enforcement of some type. So I would consider myself to be fortunate to exit that stage because a lot of TIs out there, I know from what I research, are stuck in that stage. And you're stuck. You're not getting out of it. Those of you talking about lawsuits, what lawsuits? You don't got nothing. If you go hire a lawyer, that lawyer is lying to you, it's taking your money. What lawsuit? You got to study a little bit about how the court operates. If you have evidence, you know you have evidence. If you have evidence, you do need to come forward and prosecute the people. You have evidence, you know you have evidence, but you don't have evidence. That's a fact. Regardless if you like what I'm saying or not, it's a fact. Because if you have evidence, you're sitting on evidence, and you're not doing anything about it, shame on you. Shame on you. And if you talk to other gang stalkers who are in the program, and they let's say, okay, for Immaterial Man told me a story about this other content creator that the neighbor gang stalker apologized. And my question is, did they actually come up face to face and apologize? I was in a gang stalk. I was paid to stalk you, or were just manipulated by gang stalkers, and they were just stalking that content creator, and then eventually make peace and apologize. But they're not actual gang stalkers. The gang stalkers are the one manipulating it. So it's like if you know that up to that point, the content creator's job is to question the neighbor about the program, question the neighbor, everything about it. Why wouldn't you? That's what everybody wants in the communities is these facts, hard facts, to take it to a judge, to take it to a bunch of top of the class lawyers and sue for a lot of money, right? And be like a Edward Snowden type of whistleblower. Who's doing that? If you have absolute fact. Why aren't you bringing it to law enforcement, bringing it to the news, bringing it to any publications, even foreign publications, newspaper, pu- and just release the information with these hard facts, hard evidence. And the fact is, there is none. Everything is speculation and assumption. But the experience is real. All of you are going through this experience, and each one of you have something slightly different. There's commonalities, and there's some different uh, variations. And those different variations is something I actually enjoy learning, because I can only my experience is my experience. I know it's similar to a lot of you, but at the same time, I also am fascinated by learning that, oh, there's these other ways that these gang stalkers are manipulating people. So I'm learning every day from these little oddball type of experience from these TIs. And and that's just the way it is. Hold on one second. I have to answer a call. 1 second. I'm gonna take a break for 5 minutes, and if I don't come back, sorry guys, but okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. Um, so back to what I was saying. You have the evidence, bring it out, because this is what the community needs. Or if you're like me, you just want to write a book first so you can be on a show and talk about gang stalking, and let the masses know about it. That's fine. Just talk about that. Talk about your plan, because I have. But I'm only 3 videos away from the finale, and so far I'm the only one with the information. But I have already gave you guys a lot of good advice. And if you're just listening and you're not really taking it seriously, then no matter what I do, it's not going to help you. And you just wouldn't understand unless you experience it on your own. Because we can talk about basketball for years, but if you never dribble a basketball, never shoot a basketball, you're still not going to know or understand what's it like to play basketball. So you need to go through the experience on your own, because right now, a lot of UTIs out there, your mind, it's consumed by negative thoughts. And me alone, the information I provide, it's not enough positive information to overcome all the negative thoughts inside your mind. You must start recognizing these negative thoughts coming into your mind. And as soon as you recognize it, you're going to need to stop your mind from continue thinking about it. Because before I recognize this, I would just sit there. I could literally start thinking about these negative thoughts and what if situation, and all these possibilities. I could sit there and think about it for 15 minutes. But this doesn't just happen once in a day. It'll happen throughout the day, every week, every month, for years. That's a lot of negativity inside my mind. But thank God I took some philosophy courses in college, and communication studies. So, and I I was, grew up poor, so I had to, you know, I was in some doing some type of, like humiliating type of growing up, different situations. So that doesn't bother me, and that's one thing that's helped me excel out of all those BS. That's why when the drones look at you, who cares? Who cares? Why do you have to focus on it and let that bother you? You can't even touch it. Yeah, everywhere you're driving to, you're saying the drones is up in the sky looking at you. No, it's not. But if it is, let it look. Big deal. You can think about how to make your $1 million, your next $1 million. You can think about how to invent that item that you've been thinking about, or you can try to think about how to get in another relationship, or buy this top of the line puppy so you can like start making new puppies and whatever. I mean, there's just so much other stuff you can think about, but then why do you have to focus on the drone, that little star in the sky, which it looks kind of pretty anyways? Like, why do you have to think, oh, it's looking at you and spying on you? If you do want to think that way, embrace it. Let that thought come in. Be like, okay, you know what? It's looking at me. Let that drone look. Look at me. What are you gonna do? Tell the drone, what are you gonna do, drone? You can look at me. I'm talking shit to you right now. I mean, that's the mentality you need. That's the no fear mentality you must have. If you don't understand that part, gang stalking, it's gonna be so tough for you. You're gonna go in this loop of just wondering what's happening and who is it. And you're gonna go through these mood swings. One day you're super nice, or you might go through a few weeks super nice, and that one moment, that one day when you're pissed off and the gang stalkers are adding on the pressure, and you go crazy, kind of loco, kind of beast mode, and you start screaming, yelling, whatever, like that one moment is what the gang stalker wants. They want you to mess up. They want you to get in trouble so you can probably be in prison or something. My gang stalkers always talk trash to me about that. They always talk about how they're gonna do things, and they're gonna put me in prison. They always tell me that. You know what I do? I use the FU, and I'll bust out my phone. I play the FU audio, and I just stop those thoughts. Can you imagine if I didn't understand that? I'm just sitting there and they keep manipulating me to continue thinking about being in prison and how they're going to put me in prison and all these things. That is just, that is like them sucking all the energy out of my spirit and putting me in this lost, hopeless state of mind. Does that make sense? I mean, I would imagine what I'm saying. It makes a lot of sense. It's pretty simple to understand. It's a battle of the mind. These gang stalkers are using lower voice to skull, talking to you every day, right now. If you're having any thoughts or doubt or agreement, you're listening to lower voice to skull. Now, when I say lower voice to skull, they're not always bad. There are good and evil out there, but sometimes the bad could, or the more stronger force, because STIs where our privacy is being invaded, so it's hard to stay positive, right? Because when I started all this, I was not a positive person. Even before I realized gang stalking, I was not a positive person. Like everywhere I go, like I thought someone was gonna hurt me. I'm gonna get into a situation where I'm gonna need to defend my own life. That's why I was strapped everywhere I go. And thank God nothing bad happened. And I don't do that no more. But back then, I would think, oh, something bad's gonna happen. It could be today. But it turns out I'm just listening to the lower voices called the evil side of it. And since I let that feeling in, thinking that something bad's gonna happen to me, I'm letting in evil. I'm letting in negative thoughts. Now become a part of my life, my thinking process. Because, like a baby born is pure, there's pure. But as soon as you start introducing horror film to them, gory film to little kids, and they see those images, that's a door opening for these evil to come in, because now their mind have absorbed the information of evil, the image of evil. So that's why it's like back to planting. It's like planting a seed in your mind. And if you live in an area as a TI with lots of neighbors, the gangstalkers, they have so many seeds planted into your head. Thank God I'm not living in that type of situation. And I also believe that's one reason how I discovered what I discovered, because living here, I don't have no neighbors. I can come out, investigate all throughout the night. I bump my FU audios, you know, on max. I mean, I pushed the limit here. I pushed the limit here just to see if the neighbors would call the sheriff. And the sheriff never ever showed up once. And the only time they ever show up is because I called the sheriff. In the beginning, when I thought it was the neighbors here, I was the one that called the sheriff, and I was the one that got beat in the ass. But my neighbors, till this till this day, they have not called the sheriff on me once. No sheriff showed up because of the neighbor complaint, and I pushed my limit here. And just because I push it, I'm able to call their bluffs, and that's how I find out a lot of these things. But I know a lot of TIs out there are not as fortunate, and you're in a situation where you just it's so much tougher for you. It is, and I know you're getting it tougher than me. I know you are. And I if I was in your situation, I would most likely just gonna be like wherever you are now. I would probably would not discover what I know, right? Because if I put myself in your situation, I'm gonna be in just like where you are now, just kind of going through, what you're going through. And I'm glad I don't have to experience what you're going through. So the only thing I can do for you guys is to share what I discover through, my videos. That's what I can do, and my responsibility to share what I know to the world, to society, to the TI community. And so I hope all of you out there whom are listening, I hope you will stay positive with your thoughts. And my homework assignment to you guys listening is after this video, try to not think about anything for the next 30 minutes. And if you do think about something, try to catch yourself thinking only positive stuff that makes you happy, right? Either experience or something that you love. So there's got to be something out there that always makes you happy every time, and just focus on that. But if it requires energy, so if you don't want to spend your mind energy thinking about it, because I'm sure your mind's already kind of tired, being drained all day from these gang talkers, then practice just not thinking at all. Just relax for the next 30 minutes. But do pay attention when a negative thought comes in. And negative thoughts have anything to do with talking shit about a person, uh, talking down on a person, uh, anything that deals with ego or or making fun of someone or putting yourself higher than others, like in a certain negative way. So just try to recognize those. Now, if you do want to put yourself higher than the other person, then you should follow up with a positive thought, which is how you're going to help that person get to where you are. Okay, so every negative thought needs about 5 positive thoughts. So, well, at least that's what the researchers are saying. I do believe it. You definitely need more than it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. One negative thought requires many positive thoughts over time to compensate. So your goal is to either not think about uh, anything stupid, okay? Because a lot of these thoughts we think about throughout the day, it has to do with gang stalking. It's just so much fear and negativity. Stop those thoughts. Only think about stuff that are relevant to you, stuff that are helpful to you, and making yourself better and happier. And if those are not the type of thoughts you're thinking about, then just don't think about random stuff. Let your mind uh, recuperate, let your mind relax because it costs energy to think about stuff and you don't want to think about random stuff. And also practice recognizing negative thoughts. As soon as they come in, don't fight it because it's going to come in. You can't stop it. But what you can do, stop yourself from thinking about it for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. Just stop thinking about it. And that takes practice. I don't know how long it's going to take you, but it took me years. So recognize that. Don't give up. These gang stalkers will try to tell you, you're failing. It's not working. You're not doing it. You're not doing it right. It's not going to work. That's what they do. They're going to try to discourage you. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. Well, I was hoping absent-minded Abe would come onto this live stream, but I kind of informed him a little last minute, so maybe he's too busy. I saw a video he uploaded a few hours ago. He's with his kid, so maybe he's doing that. Um, well, next time then. But I do want him to join me on the live stream so we can just have conversations and talk. I think it'll be fun. And I gotta go now. So thanks to all of you for listening, and have a good night. Shimon signing out.